Hello, I'm attorney Andrea and welcome to my channel, or welcome back for my repeat offenders. On today's episode, we are going to talk about some very important statistics. The racial and ethnic breakdown of lawyers in America. And more importantly, why the stats are problematic and what bar examiners are doing to combat the issue. But first things always come first. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because you will not want to miss all of the information that is going to be just swimming on this channel everywhere. Yes, info. Let's jump right in, but a quick reminder, we are still on our journey to becoming an attorney. So to do that, we need to talk about some hot legal issues like today's. But I'll start with a brief backstory. So I recently started my TikTok account, and no, this is not a shameless plug. But I do a mix of educational and fun videos on the account. And my first video to really go, quote, viral was a video where I quickly just listed the racial/ethnic breakdown of the legal field by percentages, just throughout the percentage, different race, percentage, blah, blah. People were really surprised by these numbers, which is not shocking because you'll get to see the numbers and I'm sure you'll be surprised by some of them too. But what was shocking for me were the plethora of comments where people were saying things like, the stats sound normal, they make sense, they look good, they're accurate based upon the racial breakdown of the country. No, I saw a huge gap in understanding on the issue, so I decided to try to make this video to explain the issue with the representation in this country's legal field. Law is one of the most significant professions in the world, in my biased opinion. But as of 2021, roughly 0.4% of all US attorneys were reportedly Native Americans, 2% Asian, roughly 5% were Hispanic, 4.8% were African American, which may I also point out is the same exact percentage it was as of 10 years ago. It hasn't changed. And a whopping 85 are white and those classified as white. As we all know, there are so many factors that have affected the ability of minorities to get into law school, to stay in law school, just to even go to college. There's just so many barriers, right, over the years. And those are things that definitely need addressing, but in a separate video, because right now we're focused on the fact that minorities are way underrepresented in the legal field. Now, to the people saying, well, what's the issue with these stats? White people are the majority of the population. I say this, the ratios still don't make sense. Make it make sense. White people and those classified as white are 77% of the population. But in the legal field, they are 85% of attorneys. African Americans make up 13.4% of the US population, but roughly only 5% of lawyers. Hispanic people make up a whopping 18.5% of Americans, but again, only make up about roughly 5% of lawyers. Asian Americans make up 6% of the population, but are only 2% of lawyers. Now, the only ratio that is proportional is the Native American representation. Native Americans are represented in the legal profession at roughly the same proportion as their presence in the general population. Less than 0.5% of all lawyers, and in the country as well. And the number of mixed race lawyers is slowly rising. In 2021, it stood at 2% of the profession. However, white men and women are still overrepresented in the legal profession compared with their presence in the overall US population. Now, I know some states don't have a large minority population, and yes, they're missing out. But guess what? Big states like Texas, California, New York, Florida, Illinois, Georgia, and others need to push the gap because they can. And I don't think the issue gets enough spotlight. Now, don't get me wrong. The American Bar Association and individual state bars are doing some wonderful, excellent things in recent years to address this issue. But we need to act too. We need to share information about how to get into law school and other professional fields. We need to support each other and our communities on our journeys, which is why I even started this channel in the first place. But I will leave you with some good news/insider info. Don't say you heard it from me. I recently spoke to a judge who works at the California Bar, and apparently California is making some huge overhauls in the bar exam. An exam which for many has been considered a major hurdle that stops people from getting licensed in California, and for good reason. And that's a giant stepping stone, and I'm gonna keep you updated. But until next time, subscribe, and like, because I know you learned something. anything. And please leave your comments with your questions and what you would like to see me cover on this channel in the future, because I want to know so that I can do it and you can know. Until next time, thank you for watching.